YouTube, hello. It's time to talk about Donald Trump and the Dakota Access Pipeline and the Keystone Pipeline. I think his decision about DAPL is especially regrettable. Hopefully when he says that he wants to negotiate better terms, that means better terms for the Native people whose way of life, there is potential for their way of life to be at risk. So hopefully he intends to renegotiate how that appears to be impacting their future. But the real thing to take note in all of this is why he would do such a thing. And this ties back into things that he told Oprah in the late 80s or early 90s. When she asked if he would ever run for president, he said, "I don't want to run for president, but I would if I had to." And so it's really interesting now to see that he's, thrown his hat into it and become president. So what made him feel like he had to do it right now? And so what made him feel like he had to move forward with DAPL and Keystone XL? And I would say it's because he knows he's presiding over a bankruptcy. This also ties into fake news in the sense that for the last 5 years, maybe 7 years, if you wanted to get real financial analysis, real honest analysis of what's going on in different financial markets and what's going on with different economic policies and stuff like that, you had to turn to the internet. You weren't going to get this information from the Mockingbird media. They've been touting this failed recovery as a success for the last 8 years. But the truth is that there was never a correction in 2008. We just plugged up the dam and said, well, we'll deal with the problem when the whole thing breaks. And so I think we are on the precipice of that, and I think that that's what motivated Donald Trump to run for president, because he probably saw himself as one of the only people who could successfully preside over the bankruptcy of an entire country. So that's kind of where we're at. I think that his decision about the pipelines has a lot to do with that. I think he's looking to create jobs that are, as Obama would say, shovel ready. He's trying to lay some groundwork to alleviate the pain that he knows is coming with this correction. I think that's why he moved so quickly to work on NAFTA. That's why we immediately withdrew ourselves from TPP, which was an excellent thing. That was guaranteed economic slavery for many people in the Western Hemisphere. So he's moving really quickly to do some of these things, and it seems really regrettable, his decision about the pipelines, but I think it ties into this whole concept that he has of he ran for president because he had to, because nobody else was willing to address the actual problems and put people through a little bit of pain in order to see some benefit on the other side. So, he knows that the real correction is probably impending. Is it going to happen in 2017 or 2018? I don't think anybody can predict that. And I think that the forces that pull strings within the Federal Reserve and some of those who are involved with special drawing rights and Bank of International Clearing House and that kind of stuff, they're going to probably try and undermine the president's efforts to alleviate some of the pain that the American people are going to experience, right? They want to kick the can down the road. That was Hillary Clinton's plan. Would have been to just continue printing money and pretend that everything is okay and shove another plug in the breaking dam and just put it off until the whole thing crumbled. And Bernie Sanders his economic policies would have just blown the entire dam to smithereens, and we probably would have gone instantaneously into economic freefall had Bernie Sanders been elected president. I think we would already be in the middle of a depression had that been the case. But I don't think Donald Trump can stop a depression or a correction. I don't think there's a whole lot he can do to alleviate some of the pain that people are going to feel from it. But I think that his perspective is to get it over with, let the correction happen, and do whatever you can beforehand to set things up for recovery afterwards. So that's my opinion. I do think that it's regrettable that we're trampling our agreements with Native people. The American government has a terrible history of that. Hopefully Donald Trump does something to address the concerns of those people and address the needs that they have vis-a-vis this pipeline project. But I do think that he's so adamant about it because of the coming correction, because otherwise he seems to want to stay away from these more social type issues, and this one really straddles the fence in terms of being a business issue and a moral sort of social justice type issue. And so I had really expected him maybe to leave this one alone, or to just say, no, it's not worth it, we will do something else. So hopefully what happens ultimately is a win-win as much as possible. But I do think that he's doing it because he's trying to stack the deck in our favor once the correction really sets in. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for listening.